Let's just ignore the controversy behind the game and focus on what really matters. Is the game good? I read the book series once a decade and a half ago and played that one Harry Potter game on a PS2, so I'm not a hardcore fan by any stretch of the imagination. However, booting up the game and seeing Hogwarts, the train station, Hogsmeade, and the Forbidden Forest, I can't lie, I felt a bit giddy. The team did a good job at designing these iconic locations for the game, all while keeping the whimsical and magical aspects intact. That being said, I hate all the areas south of Hogwarts and the train station. They just seem like needless padding to make the map bigger. I'd rather they have made the four main iconic areas bigger and denser instead of wasting dev times on those areas.
This year's Quidditch season has been cancelled.
There's no Quidditch in this game. At the moment. I heard they might release it as DLC later on, but it doesn't change the fact that it's not here now. Instead they gave us this time trial course thing, which is kinda lame. But I did like how you can shit talk this character after you beat her record. The gear system is dog shit. The game constantly shovels out a ton of new gear, and there's always one or two items that are better than your current one. So you're constantly going to the menus to change out the gear, which changes the way you look, so after every mission you come out looking like a clown. Yes, the game lets you change the look of the gear you're wearing without changing the stats, but you need to do this every single time you change gear. It's tedious and cumbersome. Also, upgrading my gear never made me feel any stronger. No matter how much I changed out my gear throughout the game, I always felt like I died in the same amount of hits, and enemies take the same amount of hits to die. The combat is fun. Kind of. You can use iconic spells like Stupefy and Expelliarmus. However, most of the fights pretty much comes down to yellow, purple, and red. Hit them with the spell that corresponds to the color, and juggle them to oblivion. The game mentioned that each enemy had an elemental weakness, but I paid almost no attention to that, and still did just fine. The problem comes when you face a huge amount of enemies with different colored shields. I swear the game's auto-aim and lock-on breaks in these sections because I can never seem to get my character to hit the right thing half the time. Also, F this enemy. The forbidden spells are the best part of the game, hands down. They're so blatantly broken because they break every shield, work on all enemies, even bosses, and either incapacitates them or just outright kills them in one hit. With these spells you can clear entire rooms of mobs with proper setup. Using them put the game on baby mode, but it gave me the most enjoyment out of the combat for me. The enemy variety in this game is downright abysmal for a game of this size. There's only like 6 enemy types in the game with slight variations between them. Pretty much the enemies you fought in the first 6 hours are the same enemies you fight late game. The game's story is generic. At least the main one is. Just your usual save the world routine. Main character has a unique special power. You know the gist. The side stories are just as uninspired. I didn't finish any of them except one. And it's this guy's storyline, Sebastian. Make sure you do his questline if you want the forbidden spells. But other than that, it actually has a well-written storyline. It wasn't a world-ending extravaganza, but a more personal, grounded storyline that actually has some ramification depending on the choices you make. Overall, the game is decent. It's competently made and definitely has the Harry Potter feel. Play it if you're a fan of Harry Potter, or just like open world RPGs. That's all I got to say. See you.